What's up, Ocean? You got Matt here, coach of your Montreal Milotics, bringing you our Week 6 battle for the BBR. Today we are facing off against Diet Tight, coach of the New Britain Rockruffs, or as we all like to call him, Diet Timer. Honestly, back in the day before land mode was a thing, and back when it was in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Di actually was known for getting to timer a lot, so we started calling him Diet Timer, but that is old news, ancient history, and looking at the present, he is 5-0. He is at the top of the league, the only team that is undefeated. Meanwhile, we're sitting here at a lowly 2 wins, 3 losses. We are still the 8th seed right now. We are sitting with 2-3 with a +2 differential, which means we are enough for the 8th seed, which is cool, but I don't want to be 2-3. I definitely believe that based on the way we've played, all 3 of the games we've lost were winnable. The first 2, I didn't play well in. This last one here, yeah, curse body. 30% chance, he got it, got the win. It happens, it is what it is, but we're going to go ahead and do our best to get the win this time around. I do have to go a little bit quicker this time because we are playing in about 30 minutes and I don't want to have this last too long, but looking at the matchup, it's tough. The big thing is Lycanroc midday. Without that thing, this match becomes fairly straightforward for me, but that really puts a wrench into the plan because I have very few answers to rock types on my team. I have the Urshifu, which is great, but then I have a steel type, which hits super effective by close combat. I then have my grass type is pretty frail. My ground type doesn't resist rock, so I definitely feel like this is a really tough matchup for me, and I wasn't all that motivated to build for it this week. It just had a lot on my plate this week, had a week off from work, so I want to make sure I can just relax as much as possible, and I managed to get a lot of that done, which is fantastic. And now that week is coming up to an end, I have to actually play the game. But I did get a lot of help from my good pal Granky. He's been an amazing help for me, honestly. Like from when he left the community for a while, I was like devastated. He's such an amazing guy, so just huge thank you to him. Also thank you to TKO, who managed to build the team as well. We compared notes with what Granky had and TK had, and we came up with something very similar and very solid all around. And then shout out to Brain and to Liv, both of whom gave me mocks this week, so I appreciate it very much from both of them. I would not feel as confident in this game without those mocks, and honestly, I did well in those mocks, so I'm very happy to see what we can do this week with this weird, wacky team. Now, looking at the team or my opponent's roster, Corviknight is definitely a big threat to my roster. Without it, my Gardevoir just goes in. He has 3 resists, 2 fairy, being the Corviknight, the Weezing, and the Marowak. Marowak isn't super bulky. I have quite a few ways to get rid of that thing. If Weezing comes, it's going to be very pressured to take hits from my Mamoswine, my Cinderace, and my Urshifu. Corviknight as well. Corviknight really doesn't want to take hits from a banded Mamoswine or a Life Orb Mamoswine's Ice Cold Crash. Doesn't really want to take too many hits from Surging Strikes from a banded Urshifu. And same thing, does not want to take 1 hit from a Pyro Ball from a Cinderace. So I definitely feel like we have a really good shot this week. But it's still scary. It's still super scary. Looking at it though, the 2 mons I'm not considering the Kangaskhan or the Leafeon. I don't think any of them have merit in this game. If they do come, so be it. Great prep, but move forward. Anyways, looking at the roster, our first mon that we're going to be bringing is obviously, of course, 100% going to be our Urshifu. This is a fantastic set this week, as I'm running Surging Strikes, Bulk Up, Drain Punch, and Aqua Jet with the leftovers. Our spread is very weird. We don't have very much speed because we don't really need much speed. My opponent's fastest mon below this thing, I believe, is the Seismitoad base 74. Other than that, he has a pretty big jump, which goes up to, I think it's the Mienshao, or the Hydreigon, excuse me, at base 98. Then he has the Mienshao and like Lycanroc Day and everything like that. So I definitely didn't feel like the speed was needed. With Granky's build, originally we had a bit more speed on this set for like a max speed Corviknight. Didn't really need that. Just don't. Instead, I put a lot of it into bulk. I was able to go Adamant Natured as well. With our attack and our Adamant Nature, we actually always 3 KO a max physical defense Seismitoad at +1 with our Drain Punch, which is very nice to have. It's just good to guarantee that KO after leftovers, just very useful. Surging Strikes does tons of damage to my opponent's roster. Jet is there for priority. Again, without having the Lycanroc midday, I would have sub here. With Lycanroc midday, I have to have Aqua Jet just in case I think it's out of hand if I'm in range of like a I don't know, +2 close combat, or even just a plus, or even a neutral Psychic Fangs or something like that. So I have to be very careful about that. But it is a very strong set nonetheless. With our special defense, we actually take a Draco Meteor from a timid Life Orb Hydreigon, which is amazing, and we can fire back a Drain Punch and get the KO on that after the Life Orb chip. And if it is not Life Orb and we just manage to get the KO on it, fantastic. If we don't, we have Aqua Jet to finish it off, which is huge. Moving on, we have our next mod, which is going to be our Cinderace here with Power Ball, U-Turn, Sucker Punch, and Court Change. Very similar set to we had last week. Running heavy duty boots this time, so I'm not affected by the rocks on entry or the spikes or the T-spikes. Because I don't really want to take that damage, and with Court Change I can just switch them back to my opponent, and that way he can deal with them, because at the end of the day, I don't want to deal with spikes, you deal with it, even though he has quite a few immunities to ground, being the Weezing, the Hydreigon, the Corviknight, so we'll see how that goes. But at the end of the day, it is still a very, very fun set to run. In the mocks, this did nothing. It did absolutely nothing. It was a sack to a Lycanroc, and it didn't hit the field in the other one because something else just won the game. So I definitely feel like this is going to be a bit more expendable than I want it to be. If it got Toxic, I would have run a Sub-Toxic sound this set this week, 100%. I was looking forward to doing that, but we can't do it this time around. With this spread, we have speed for a Jolly Lycanroc. Powerball hits everything but the size of a Toad. U-Turn is there to get out versus something like the Toad. Sucker Punch is there for a, let's say he revealed all the moves on his Lycanroc, and he has to go for a Cell Rock. I revealed the Sucker Punch, do like 35% to it, and we potentially get the KO on it, which would be absolutely magnificent. And we actually take any hit from the Lycanroc as long as it's not a Stone Edge or something, so we can fire off a Powerball to that thing, and even though it's resisted, it's still going to do a huge chunk of damage because we're Cinderace, 116 base attack, 120 base power move, and Powerball. Lycanroc doesn't have the most bulk in it, so I definitely feel comfortable with that over there. Our next mon is going to be our COPPERAJAH, which is a Focus Sash lead COPPERAJAH this week. Now, Granky, when he built this team, he ran this set. He brought this set because he said he wasn't sure what would be better, Aqua Berry or Chople Berry, and honestly, I really can't make a decision on that. I kind of had this just in case because if he leads off with Marowak and lead off with this, I don't have Earthquake to hit it, so I really feel like I have to get my rocks and just do damage with Heavy Slam there, which is not going to be a 2 KO if he's max HP. If he leads off with Manchow and he's Reckless High Jump Kick, I'm dropping. So I need to make sure I have a way to hit that. That's if I get the 50-50 wrong with Chople Berry versus Aqua Berry. So Sash is there to guarantee up getting us getting up rocks, or to get big damage off on something. Ideally, his primary switch into this thing is going to be like if he leads off with something random and goes for a U-turn or whatnot, or maybe he thinks he's not going to KO us with High Jump Kick from the Mienshao and he goes for a U-turn like that, then we would go for a Heat Crash or a Heavy Slam. That would hit pretty much everything coming in. If the Toad comes in, we have Power Whip. If the Corviknight comes in, we have Heat Crash. We are running max speed with a Jolly Nature, even though we have, what, like 30 base speed? Why? Well, we want to make sure that we can outspeed a Corviknight. Originally, we had speed for a no-speed Corviknight, but now I just put it to 12-speed Corviknight. It was very little. Really, it was just 16 EV, so it doesn't really make too much of a difference, but it's still a very strong set nonetheless. Getting up rocks is huge to chip down the Marowak because our Gardevoir wants to win late game, and Gardevoir can't do that as well when things like the Corviknight, the Weezing, and the Marowak are still around. Moving on, our next mon is going to be our Vullaby here with Dark Pulse, Air Slash, Heat Wave, and U-Turn with Weak Armor, I may add. Yes, we are running Weak Armor on a defensive Pokemon, and we have a Modest Nature. Why? Well, hear me out, okay? Granky came up with this set again as well, and it's a very good set. He was physical. I changed it to special because I felt like getting the damage off with Heat Wave on Corviknight would be a lot better than just knocking off the item and then U-turning out. Originally we had Defog over this. Our original moveset was Brave Bird, Knockoff, Defog, and U-turn. I obviously changed it to this here with our speed. With our spread, we have speed for an Adamant Marowak in base, and we have speed for Modest Selgor while we're at +2. We also take an Adamant from the Marowak, and then we proc our weakness policy, outspeed it, fire off a Dark Pulse, does 60%. Not even kidding. Crazy. After Rocks and a Moonblast hit, forget about it. It's going to be crazy. He also may be afraid of what we're going to go for, maybe a knockoff, which would then lower the damage. And honestly, all I really need to do with this is just make sure that the Marowak is weakened, make sure that the Weezing is weakened, make sure that the Corviknight is weakened. If I can do that with this Pokemon, then it's done its job fantastically. Yeah, that's the big thing. Weak Armor will lower my defense by 1 stage, making us more susceptible to the Cell Rock from the Lycanroc, and then we'll boost our speed by 2 stages, allowing us to outspeed everything, bar any Scarfers. So we'll also find out if he is Scarfed on anything like the Hydreigon, for example. So yeah, that's our Vullaby here, just meant to chip things down and Modest on base 45 special attack. Who'da thunk? I don't know. This is honestly, it's a crazy set, but it's definitely going to work. I'm so excited for it. It did exactly what I wanted it to do in both mocks, so I'm hoping that it can be the same in this coming actual game. Our next mon, number 5, is going to be our Gardevoir here, which is Choice Scarf this week with Moonblast, Thunderbolt, Trick, and Healing Wish. With this spread, we have speed for a Modest Selgor with our Scarf, of course. We don't really need anything other than that in terms of speed because we outspeed everything naturally, pretty efficiently. I don't think he's going to run an offensive Seismitoad or anything. I think he needs to run defensive to take Pyro Balls. So I'm very excited to see what we can do with this. And with Trace, we can actually trace certain things that would be very helpful for our team. Something like we can trace Hydreigon's Levitate, which would be very nice. We can trace Weezing's Levitate or Neutralizing Gas. We can trace Water Absorb on Seismitoad. We can trace Reckless or Regenerator on the Mienshao. Lightning Rock Day doesn't get Tough Claws, but if it did, we could do that. We can trace the Lightning Rod that the Marowak might have. We can find out if it's Lightning Rod or even Rockhead, which would be very, very important information for us. So I definitely find that that's important, just get that knowledge. This basically is meant to just blow his team back once we weaken his fairy answers, and I definitely think we can do that with this roster pretty effectively. T-Bolt is there specifically for the Corviknight. What else is this? Oh yeah, Healing Wish will allow me to get in my Urshifu a second time, potentially, with my Cinderace if I feel like that's the need. If I go for Healing Wish and I bring in a Pokemon that's at max HP, and it stays at max HP and doesn't have a status ailment, then Healing Wish will not activate. We actually will be able to activate it the next time we bring in a Pokemon that is taking those hits, or has taken damage or something like along those lines. That's the buff to Healing Wish this generation. And then we have Trick to cripple answers to the Urshifu, something like the Weezing, the Corviknight, the Seismitoad, or even the Marowak Alolan form. So I definitely feel like that's a pretty solid move here. I'd love to run Teleport, but at the end of the day, this thing is going to be here to do damage. I'm not going to be clicking Teleport very often, so I feel like this is the best way to go about it. And then our final mon is going to be our Vikavolt here with Bug Buzz, Thunderbolt, Mud Shot, and Roost. This set has speed for the Alolan Marowak, that's Adamant of course. With our bulk, we can take a timid Life Orb Hydreigon's Draco Meteor or Flamethrower, or we can take any non-Stone Edge from a Banded or Life Orb Lycanroc, and that's pretty good because we can take an Accelerock, which is very nice. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we take 2 if he's Jolly and has non-boosting item, and yeah, but regardless, T-Bolt, Bug Buzz, Mudshot is there specifically for the Alolan Marowak, does like 40% to it, which is good to do. It's good to know, especially if I find out that he is running, if let's say there's rocks up on my side of the field, then I kind of just have to sack this thing, go for a Mudshot, make sure it stays slow, which means, again, he's probably going to be Adamant. If he goes for Flame Charge, so be it. He'll still be at neutral base speed because Mudshot lowers your speed, and I can bring in Vullaby, fire off a Dark Pulse, whatnot, go into Urshifu, set up a bulk up or something. So I don't feel like this is a really solid bring. I'd love to bring webs, but he has a lot of things that are off the ground. His team, while it is fast, it's not crazy fast that I can't deal with it, so I feel like this is a very good thing to do. So yeah, that is our team here. I'm hoping that we can get the win. My team's already genned in. I'm just going to switch over to the battle layout and everything, and I'm nervous, but I definitely think we can do it. I know we can. All right, so I'll see you guys in a second with the battle. All right, everyone, we are back. Now, looking at the team, he ends up bringing his Seismitoad, Corviknight, Mienshao, Lycanroc Day, Galarian Weezing, and Hydreigon. I have my lead already. My lead is COPPERAJAH here. He has 2 Rockers. He has 1 Toxic Spike user. Yeah, okay. COPPERAJAH is my lead 100%. I'm just going to fire off like a Heavy Slam if he leads off with anything other than the Seismitoad or the Corviknight, and then I'll just Heat Crash the Corviknight after. So I'm going to do that. Have fun to die. Let's have a good game here. Let's snap his undefeated streak. Yeah, it's going to be a great game. I want to go back to I want to go back to 500. Going 2-4 is not good. It's not good. It's not good at all. All right. The dreaded black screen at the beginning of every single battle we do with Lan. All right. Brit, what is that? That is? Okay, that's this thing. I'm fine with that. Because I can freely Heavy Slam here. So let's fire off that Heavy Slam. If he's Sash, he will live. If he is not, he will die. But he close combats instead, which is fantastic. Brings us down to our Sash. Please be Life Orb. Please be Life Orb. Please be Life Orb. We just got rid of it. The biggest threat to our team is gone. Turn 1. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Oh my god. I did not think he was going to just let that happen. I will take it. I will definitely take it. The only problem is now he can go into anything. Oh, is that the... Yeah, that's this thing. I'm just trying to think, how do I want to play this now? Because this comes in and Heat Crashes something. Do I want to keep this thing around? Do I think it's worth it? Is it worth my while to keep this thing around? Because I can freely Heat Crash, or not Heat Crash, but Heavy Slam the Yeah, I can really heavy slam the wheezing, but I don't... what would I go into? I don't think I would go into anything necessarily, so I think I'm just going to stay in, and I'm just going to fire off my rocks just in case. As he U-turns. Yep, so that's completely fair. We're going to find out if he's Life Orb or not. Are you Life Orb? You are not Life Orb. He could be Scarf, that's definitely a possibility. But honestly, shout out to COPPERAJAH for that. Wow. I'm like, yeah, you died, you only got one hit off, but you killed the biggest threat to my team. I'm definitely, like, I'm happy about that. What are you going into now? Zitz, what is that? Seismitoad. Okay. I've pretty free switch into my Vigavolt here. He has to fear the Energy Ball. He does, we know that. So I think a Bug Buzz here is pretty fair game. Again, our Vigavolt is pretty fast here. We reach 99 speed. And Seismitoad. So we have speed this thing, fantastic. Ooh, that is nothing. Rock Slide. He is totally Assault Vest. He is offensive. Oh, he crit me, of course. Of course I get crit. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay, how much did you do to me? 32, so that's 26 points of health. Right? 126 points of health with a Rock Slide crit. At level 50, a Rock Slide crit's doing 126 points of health. So he's not bold, he could be sassy. Because again, we did very little. He's got to have some offensive investment. He has to. I'm going to Roost here. I'm going to try and figure out what he wants to do to me. I now know he's not leftovers. He switches out. I'm fine with that. If I Volt Switch, I definitely think Volt Switch was my play there, but I didn't. That's okay. We Roost up. Getting that crit sucks, man. And the question now is, what do I go into? Do I still find value in this? I still kind of do. But, yeah, I still kind of do. I don't know how valuable this is left. I'm going to go into it. I'll find out if he's Scarf or not. I think he is Scarf, which will be good information. But the fact we did that kind of damage to the Seismitoad is huge. And the fact that, again, we only did that much, I think he's very defensive. Rock Slide. Okay, that's fine. Did about half. Weak Armor pops. Again, I'm pretty sure this man is Scarf. We'll find out now for sure. And if he is, we can go hard into our Shifu. Yeah. So let's fire off that Air Slash. Is he Scarf? He is Scarf. Okay. So we're going to drop to this. So down goes Vullaby. Into Urshifu we go. Okay, Urshifu at +1. So we're going to go for a bulk up here. And the reason I'm doing this is because if he goes for Surge, if he goes into Seismitoad here, then I'm screwed. If he goes into Doug, there you go. Drain Punch would not have been the play. But now I know better. Wheezing defensive, level 50. We're doing half to it. Like, we're doing half. Surging Strikes. If he burns me, fine. I'm okay with that because I have Healing Wish in the back. Alright. So let's see. Nice damage. He's helmet, of course he is. That sucks. We're gonna lose our Shifu here because he's helmet. What's he gonna go for here? Yeah, so we're gonna lose our Shifu here. That sucks. That sucks. He ended up being helmet. Great play. Alright, where is our Shifu? I go back into you. And I have a pretty free T-Bolt here. I didn't see he was neutralizing gas. I think I saw he was... Yeah, I didn't see neutralizing gas. So do I T-Bolt here or do I Bug Buzz? I think I T-Bolt here. Or do I Roost? I will Thunderbolt here. And we'll see what he wants to do to me. He's just going to sack off his Weezing here. So down goes the Weezing. Just one more thing that's gone, one more thing to leave, and then we can win with Scarf Gardevoir. Thunderbolt this thing. That crit's coming in big now because we'd live this hit. Oh, we already do. Fantastic. Thunderbolt this thing now. Ooh, big damage. Big damage. Let me think, because he's definitely going to be... How much does Rock Slide do to my Gardevoir? If I go to... What's it called? Mienshao, Choice Scarf, level 50, with Rock Slide against Gardevoir. Rock Slide is not 2 account me. I kind of want to keep this thing around. So let's go hard into you. And I believe I have a free Thunderbolt here. So we're going to chase Reckless. Okay. So at least we know he's on Regenerator, which is nice because we have this damage on it for sure. I'm going to double out here. I'm going to go back into... How fast is Corviknight? Let me take a look. Corviknight with no speed at level 50 reaches 87, so I believe I can really do this. So I'm going to go back into this guy here. Go on, make the double. He does make the switch. Fantastic. Nightingale. Fantastic. Perfect. That's absolutely perfect. We pull our double. And I can freely Roost here, so it's what I'm going to do. That's all I got to do here, just Roost up. What is he going to do now? Is he going to U-turn, which I believe he will? Yeah, so a misplay on my part here. I should have Thunderbolted. Yeah. I rushed that one. Back into Scarf Mienshao he goes. Let's just Thunderbolt here. We have to basically bank on a miss. As he Rock Slides me, he connects again. So we're going to lose our Vikavolt here. How much does Mean Shell do to my Cinderace? Rock Slide. And then we have Cinderace. 64 to 76. Kind of want a Sucker Punch here. Sucker Punch is 20 to 23. But he has a free switch in. I've got a Pyro Ball. I have to. Fuck. That sucks. I think that's Blaze now though, which is nice. Oh, of course. The crit on. This game. This game. I'm so done with this game right now. Like. The crit on the Vicable was absolutely huge. A kid played such a big role. And then he flinches me there. Like, are you kidding me? I'm so upset because I definitely felt like we had this game in our hands, but there's only so much that I can do. The entirety of my entire BBR season, excuse me, has just been destroyed because of really shitty luck. He's gonna try and preserve diff. It's not even a 2K, oh my god. We'll see. Does he go hard into Toad here? Do we live the Iron Head? We do not. We're not going to live the Iron Head. Fantastic. Alright, we lose this game 4-0. I'm not really in the mood to do a team builder, a little, like, discussion about that because any opportunity I had there was gone. I felt like I played that game decently well. But one shitty matchup, I knew it. I was so happy I got rid of the Lycanroc turn 1, but the matchup going in was near impossible to win. And at the end of the day, when you get crits and flinched, because at least at that point, I can just U-turn. I'm in Blaze. If I don't get flinched there, I KO that stupid thing. It goes goodbye, and then at that point, unless he's Scarf Hydreigon, I should be fine because I U-turn out on the Toad. I go into my Gardevoir. I can pretty freely fire off a Trick. Honestly, I feel like that's the best play. Unless unless he is like Scarf Hydro, I feel like I'm fine here. I don't know. We're 2-4, -2. I'm GG to die. It is what it is. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys all next time.